Hey everybody, it's Bruce here, and today I'm just gonna dive into a little bit of web accessibility. I spent the day in several training sessions at the college, and one of them was about web accessibility, and I just wanted to just give you a really basic overview about what makes a web page accessible. And again, I'll have more videos on this in the future, but let's dig in by showing you an HTML page, all right? So you've heard about HTML before, right? HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. And this language, as you see on the screen here, is composed of what we call tags or elements. And the structure of this web page, because I know to those of you who are not familiar with HTML, it's just like, what? What's going on here? But if you look carefully, this particular, we'll call it a document for all intents and purposes, because that's kind of what it is. And while I'm explaining this to you, I want you to think about maybe a word processor that you're familiar with, maybe Microsoft Word, maybe Google Docs or Apple Pages, whatever it may be. And remember, when you create a Word document, right, you may have in it a header section, and in that header section, you may have a heading 1, if you remember that, from Word. And on line 13 in my Visual Studio Code editor here, you can see the markup here for what we call a header in HTML. And subsequently, we have an H1, again, which is a top-level heading. Again, just like you do in a word processor. Below that, you see here what we call the nav tag for navigation, and that's telling the web page that the information contained between this opening nav tag on line 14 and this closing nav tag here on line 20, this stuff right here is navigation. It's what is going to be used by the user of this web page to navigate the web page. And in this case, this is just a simple page that's going to navigate to 3 different points on the web page. The first point, right, is going to be what is a syllabus, the second, a course description, and the third, prerequisites. Now, let me just show you right here. Here's that H1, CTEC 121 Fall 22 syllabus. And then here, again, this is not styled to look pretty or anything, right? It's just that list of those 3 links, right? And if I click on one of these links, the page will scroll, and actually all 3 are showing right now, so it's really not a good example. But if one of these, here, let me just do this for you. If one of these sections was not visible and I click on prerequisites, notice that the web page scrolled right to the prerequisites at the bottom, right? And the same thing with this right here. It goes right to course description, all right? So that's what that stuff is used for. And again, this is going to have a meeting, as you'll hear when I turn on my screen reader to read this page. So continuing on the markup, we have the end of the header section, and then we begin the main portion of the content of our web page. And on that web page, we had 3 sections, if you remember. The what is a syllabus section, the course description section, and the course prerequisites section. And within each of those sections, we had a level 2 heading, okay, because we had a level 1 heading here. And just like when you're writing a table of contents, right, or formatting any document, right, you start with a large heading, and then you have the next level would be these H2s, all right? So within each section, I have a level 2 heading and then 2 paragraphs. And I do the same for both, all right, just to show you. And then after the main content of the web page, I have a footer. Again, just like you do in your word processor with a copyright message, all right? So this is what we call HTML. This is not CSS. There is no cascading style sheet associated with this page to present it to the user in a nicer way. And this, what you're looking at right here, this is well-formed HTML, and that drives the ability for a screen reader to properly read back the content of a web page. And if I didn't create here, well-formed HTML, right? Well-structured HTML, the screen reader could get confused and not present the optimal audio experience for someone reading a screen reader, all right? So again, we're starting off here as beginners, and I hope everything I said made sense so far. If it didn't, pause the video, rewind, and go back over it, all right? So again, this is just a well-structured HTML page, right? And this is what winds up in the browser right here, right? So I'm going to turn on my screen reader on my Mac here.
VoiceOver on Chrome. CTEC 121 Core Syllabus. Google Chrome. Bruce Clark College. Window. Banner. Heading Level 1. CTEC 121 Fall 2022 Syllabus. List 3 items. Bullet. Visited. Link. What is a syllabus? Bullet. Visited. Link. Course description. Bullet. Visited. Link. Prerequisites. Heading Level 2. Main.
All right.
You are currently on a main inside of web content. To exit this web area, press Control Option VoiceOver off.
So were you able to hear and see how, when I turned on my screen reader, it enunciated, right, the various, what I call semantic meanings, right? The banner, the header, same thing. The fact that it was an H1 heading, the fact that this was navigation, and these were list items, 1 of 3, 2 of 3, 3 of 3. It was able to determine that information, right, from the underlying structure, right, the stuff we were looking at here, all right? So again, I can have the screen reader continue on here. I'll do that at the end. I'll have it read the whole page. But one other thing that was talked about today in one of the sessions at the college was the fact that there is this extension for Chrome, Firefox, Edge, Brave, any of those browsers called Wave, right? Here's Wave Evaluation Tool. And this is a tool that you can use to score how accessible your web page is here. It'll tell you about any errors, any alerts that you need to be aware of, and other things. So this has no errors and no alerts. I am a happy camper, all right? Now, you can use this tool in, maybe it's a Canvas learning management system or a WordPress site, or any site for that matter, and see how it scores, right, your site for accessibility, all right? So I think I've covered enough, and what I said before is I'm going to turn off this extension temporarily, okay? There we go. And I'm going to turn back on my screen reader so you can hear VoiceOver on the Mac read the entire page, all right? Here we go.
Banner. Heading Level 1. CTEC 121 Fall 2022 Syllabus. List 3 items. Bullet. Visited. Link. What is a syllabus? Bullet. Visited. Link. Course description. Bullet. Visited. Link. Prerequisites. Heading Level 2. What is a syllabus? A syllabus is your guide to a course and what is expected of you in the class. It will generally include course policies, rules and regulations, required texts, and a schedule of assignments. A syllabus will tell you nearly everything you need to know about how a course is run and what will be expected of you. If you have any questions whatsoever about the syllabus for this course, please let me know. I would be happy to answer them for you. Heading Level 2. Course description. Fundamental concepts related to designing and writing computer programs and procedures. Topics covered include problem-solving techniques, program design, coding, debugging, testing, and documentation. The course stresses concepts common in many programming languages and introduces the Python language. Instructional methods used in this course include reading, programming assignments, labs, quizzes, and watching instructional videos. The purpose of the course is to give students skills in the analysis, design, and implementation of solutions to progressively more complex programming problem statements. This course meets the general education requirements for transfer degrees as stated in the Clark College Catalog. This class will also provide students with the tools, methods, critical thinking skills, and commitment that will translate to employing successful Python coding in the real world and provide the student the requisite skills to also simultaneously complete the Harvard CS50 Introduction to Programming with Python course. Heading Level 2 Course Prerequisites. Eligibility for ENGL in 101 or PTWR 135 into C or better in PDCS 110 or a math course with a prerequisite of Math 096 or higher. Copyright signed 2022 by Bruce. Grammarly integration group. Left brace. Mode. Full. Is active: true. Is user disabled: false right brace. Voiceover off.